Today marks 10 years since the tragic events of 9/11. And we're here to memorialize those holy souls that perished on that tragic day. The Prime Minister of our great country, Canada, Stephen Harper, stated last week on national TV that the greatest threat to Canada and the world is Islamicism. The reason we oppose the innocent sounding Muslim prayer service in Toronto public schools is because we don't want the evil of Islamicism to gain any kind of a foothold in the public school system. The attempt to indoctrinate children establishes a poisonous atmosphere in our city, an atmosphere of hate, an atmosphere of supremacy, an atmosphere of justification for terrorism. We've been here 2 previous times to protest our opposition to Islamicism in the public school system. And on those previous occasions, there were groups, there were Islamic fundamentalists that came here to oppose us. One person represents the Muslim Student Association. She came, and her picture has been posted on various Islamic websites, claiming that she is a courageous Muslim, standing up to us. Just over a week ago, this so-called courageous Muslim attended and supported a rally at Queen's Park by a group called Cosmo, which claims to be the largest organization representing Shiite Muslims in Canada. And at that rally at Queen's Park, various speakers called for the destruction of Israel, the death of Jews, death to the infidel. And she stood there in full support. Another individual, a school teacher, came here to oppose us. He's from an organization called NAMF. It's a national Muslim organization that had a symposium where similar speakers from that rally attended their symposium and again spouted hatred. One speaker, the former president of the Canadian Islamic Congress, who on national TV only a short few years ago said that it is a good thing to kill any Israeli above the age of 18. These are the values that these people stand for. These are the values that they want to be taught in the Toronto public school system. Next week, on Saturday, those very people will have a rally here in support of Islamicism in the public school system. And it is important to counter that. It is important to give out material, to hold signs, to challenge them, not to give a foothold to the Muslim Brotherhood in this country. The lesson of 9/11 is to stand up and confront and expose those groups that endorse the doctrine of the Muslim Brotherhood. That is the greatest evil affecting us. On Friday, in Egypt, we saw as the Muslim Brotherhood lay siege on the Israeli embassy in Egypt. These are not peace activists. This is not a democratic movement. These are people who worship butchers. Those that would love to just kill you. And that's our message. That's our message for Canadians, for Jews, for Christians, for peace-loving individuals, for Hindus, other minorities. We're all minorities. We all came to this country to stand for freedom, to look for freedom. And we have to be more determined than ever to stand up once again and confront this evil and expose this evil, and to be determined to get the job done. We support the Prime Minister of this country. We want others to come out publicly and support him, and support our stand against this evil. So mention it to your friends, spread it through the internet, get the word out. We must get this word out. In other countries in the world, Islamicists, just this morning in England, at a ceremony honoring the victims of 9/11, Islamists came out and said, "You deserved it." We have to be steadfast, and we have to be determined to take a strong stand. So thank you very much for coming out. Keep your candles going in remembrance, and make sure that this penetrates your soul, that you mean it. Amen. Tony Costa will say a few words now.
Thank you, Mayor. It's indeed a pleasure to be here with you tonight on this solemn occasion. And I and my colleagues would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for being here tonight, for taking time on your Sunday evening, your busy schedule, to be here and to share with us this great memorial. We join tonight with our neighbors in the United States, and we share with their pain and the loss of their loved ones, their children, their fathers, their mothers, their grandparents, grandchildren. And what we have to remember, folks, is that 9/11 was not just an attack on the United States. The events of 9/11 was an attack on Western society, civilization. It was an attack on Western countries like Canada, like England. And not far long after 9/11, we also heard of 7/7 in London, England. We heard of the attacks that took place in Madrid, Spain. And folks, the reality is those who perpetrated the events of 9/11 hate freedom. They hate our liberty. They hate the fact that we could be free people, that we could speak freely, that we could have the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and yes, even the freedom to convert from one religion to another. So this is a war that's been going on for centuries, folks. This is not something relatively new. It's been going on for many, many centuries. And if we do not learn from our history, if we do not learn from the past, then we are condemned to repeat it. It's my hope and desire that we as Canadians do not repeat that mistake. It's also important to realize, folks, that unless we mobilize ourselves, unless we become active, the problem is with a lot of us Canadians is we're passive. And those who are against our system, our liberties, our freedom, they're active. It should be actually the other way around. We should be active. We should be protecting our freedoms that our brave soldiers and brave servicemen and women have fought for and have paid for with their blood. And so tonight we remind ourselves that 9/11, again, was not just an attack on New York City, it was an attack on the Western world. And so it behooves us as free citizens, as proud Canadians, to continue this fight. And you see, Edmund Burke put it this way. He said, the only way that evil was spread is when good men do nothing. If we don't do anything, folks, it's going to spread. And we've seen that, particularly in the Toronto District School Board. We have heard from our provincial government that Dalton McGuinty, our premier, does not want to touch this issue. When Hudak was approached on this issue of prayers, Muslim prayers in the school, he didn't want to touch it either. They're basically deferring to the school board and basically giving into the school board because they're sensitive about votes. This is voting time, folks, and they want votes, and they will sacrifice anything to get those votes. But the fact of the matter is, we've been arguing this loud and clear. Our issue with the prayers in school, the Muslim prayers in school, is not that we're against freedom of religion. We're not against freedom of religion. Our country is based on that great freedom as well. What we're against is a violation of the law where we are condoning religious services to take place in the public school system. That is clearly a flagrant violation of the law. That's what we are against. That is what we are bringing to the attention of the Toronto District School Board. And the Toronto District School Board, folks, continues to reject our concerns. And so we want to encourage you to continue writing to your local MPPs, to continue sending letters to the Toronto District School Board, and send them a notice loud and clear. No religion in our schools, and that includes no Islam in our schools. We don't have Christianity in the schools, the public school system. We don't have Judaism. We don't have Hinduism. There is no place for Islam. And so we need your support. We can't do this alone. And this is simply a battle that we just have to continue fighting. And tonight, as we commemorate 9/11, the 10th anniversary of 9/11, some of us are holding candles. And those candles are that light, the light of freedom, the light of truth. And there's one thing that the darkness cannot extinguish. The darkness can never extinguish light. As long as the light shines, there's hope. And so let's keep that light shining. Let's raise that torch of hope, and let's continue fighting the good fight. If we remain silent, they're going to win. And so let us not allow the death of those souls on 9/11, let us not allow their deaths to have been in vain. Let us continue the good fight. And if we don't learn the lessons of 9/11, it will come to Canada. It almost did a couple of years ago with the Toronto 18. So let's be vigilant, let's be proud Canadians, and let's continue to fight the good fight. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Amen.
Good evening. My name is Ron Banerjee. A lot of you know me with the Canadian Hindu Advocacy. 9/11 was an example of violent jihad, the use of force to impose an Islamic state and Sharia law in North America. What is going on in the Toronto District School Board is another form of jihad. It is called stealth jihad. It is the use of non-violent techniques, but the ends are precisely the same. Sharia law, oppression of women, of children, of minorities, and everything that Islamic law and Sharia entails. That is what we are fighting against. And let me tell you a few things that are alarming. Alarming about what's going on in the Toronto District School Board. We have a school board, we have a school, Valley Park Middle School, located in a neighborhood. Located in a neighborhood where there are so many fundamentalist Muslims that they're able to pressure the Toronto District School Board and influence the Toronto District School Board into bringing in barbaric Islamic practices right in our secular school system. And I'll tell you what that's a real failure of. That is a failure of our Canadian immigration system. Because the real question, Absolutely. The real question that should be asked is why? Why are there so many fundamentalist Muslims in this country? How do they get in? Martin Collicutt, he's with the Fraser Institute, he reported that over the last 2 decades, now if this doesn't send chills down your spine, I don't know what will. Over the last 2 decades, 90% of the tens of thousands of immigrants that have come to this country from places like Afghanistan and Pakistan have not been security cleared, have not been checked to see if they were members of Taliban, if they had connections with Muslim Brotherhood or Al-Qaeda. Nothing! Nothing! Our previous liberal government just come on in. As long as you come into this country and vote for our filthy Liberal Party of Canada, that's good enough. You can be a fundamentalist, you can rape children, you can be a rapist, you can be with Al-Qaeda, no problem. Just come on in. That was our immigration policy over the last 2 decades. And that is what we have to respond to, and that is what we have to counter. And thank you. Thank you. And I'll tell you how we have to do it. We have to follow the example set by people, by Nazi hunters. By Nazi hunters here in Canada and in the US. You see, after World War II, there were groups of filthy Nazis that used to be members of the SS and other divisions, other Nazi party organs within Germany, and they managed to sneak into this country. And do you know what happened to them when they were caught? When great organizations like the JDL and Simon Wiesenthal Institute exposed them? Didn't happen to all of them. I'll tell you what happened to a good number of them. They were stripped of their Canadian citizenship and they were sent right back to where they came from in chains. Yeah. Hey. And that is what we need to do. We need a federal audit of every single Muslim in this country that dares to push the Toronto District School Board to have Islamic prayers, of every Muslim in this entire nation that dares to support Sharia law, of every nation in this entire nation that dares to belong, support, or speak out in favor of the Muslim Brotherhood or any of these fundamentalist organizations. We need to do a deep investigation into these people's backgrounds. And if we find out that they lied to us, if we find out in their application for Canadian citizenship, when they immigrated to this country, that they lied about associations with fundamentalist Muslim groups in this country, then we know, do you know what we have to tell them? We have to tell them to get back on their boat and row your way right back to the Middle East, right back to Pakistan, right back to those Islamic hellholes that you came from. Go out, go home, get out of my country. Get the hell out of my country and don't ever come back. Do you think Canadian citizenship is irreversible? You think that because you lied to the Liberals and you managed to get a document that says you're a Canadian citizen, you think we can't reverse that? You think we can't take your Canadian citizenship if we wanted to, rip it, throw it into the garbage and boot you right back out to where you came from? We've done it before. We've done it before with neo-Nazis and Nazis, people associated with SS, those kind of people, and we're going to do it. We have to do it. We have to pressure our government to do it again with these evil groups, these evil Islamo-fascists in this country. And that's how we're going to cure this country of this cancer. That's the only way we're going to do it. So they can come here and they can hide under their rocks. They can scurry around like little rats and cockroaches. But like George W. Bush said, you can hide, you can run, but you can't hide. We will find you, we will track you down no matter where you are, and we will take care of you when the time comes. I thank you for your time, and I have here with me a gentleman, Mr. Nazir. He is from the Canadian Egyptian Congress, who's going to say a few words. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Nazir.
Thank you. I don't think I can say much after my brother in here covered everything. The only thing I can say, no religion in any school. No religion in any school. The second thing, which is the good news, the first time since 9/11, we are celebrating without the evil man Osama bin Laden. That evil man is no longer with us, and we don't need his disciples. Thank you. Have a great evening. God bless Canada, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Abed Gill.
Abed Gill. What organization, Mayor? Yeah, find this organization.
Abed Gill? Okay, good.
What group are you in?
Sorry?
What group are you in?
Evangelical Asian Church.
Evangelical Asian Church. Abed Gill. Put your hands together.
Good evening, fellow Canadians. As you know, I'm part of Evangelical Asian Church in Toronto, and I am from Pakistan as well, a proud Christian from Pakistan and a persecuted Christian from Pakistan. The reason why I'm here today to support this event, because I was born in an Islamic country, I was raised in an Islamic country, and I was forced to practice everything that they do practice. And I foresee the same thing coming to Canada. Now my question to myself and to all of you is, I ran from Pakistan to find a good life here in Canada, and the same nonsense is happening here now. Where do I go next? Do I have a place on this earth to go? Or Canada is going to become another hell like a Pakistan, where terrorists are being born, terrorists are being protected, terrorists are being funded? So if the answer is no, then my request to Prime Minister of Canada is, stop this nonsense right now before it goes up to a point where we all feel unsecure in this great country of Canada. And I would appreciate each and every one of you who is here today to go to your MPs and raise this issue and have them send the letters out to Ottawa so that Ottawa could get involved into this and stop this nonsense, stop this terrorism, stop the birth of the terrorism right here under our nose. This is our country. We need to protect this country. Where did Osama bin Laden got caught from? From Pakistan. Who is funding him? Saudi Arabia. Everyone is saying Islam or Muslims are peaceful. If they are peaceful, let's go back 50 years. Why Iran and Iraq fought for 15 years? Both parties Muslim. Why Pakistan and India have been fighting forever? One party is Muslim. Why Palestine and Israel are fighting forever? One party is Muslim. Why Kuwait and Iraq have been fighting for 48 hours? Both parties Muslim. Why Bosnia and Croatia fought? One party is Muslim. Now you want to prove that you are peaceful? No, you are not peaceful, because Qur'an tells you to do jihad. And if that's a jihad, you cannot prove that you are peaceful. You want to come and talk to me? You want to come and have a debate with me? I studied Quran, I studied Islam for 14 years. It's going to take 14 years for Canadians to understand what I understand today. But I'm telling you now, please wake up. Canadians, please wake up and stop this nonsense if you can. Because it is an extreme level threat that is coming to Canada. It's a cancer that is spreading out all over the world. We need to stop it dead right in its tracks right now, before it's too late. Thank you very much. God bless Canada.
Next week, Saturday, at 1:30, here at this location, there is going to be a gathering of Islamo-fascists, people who support the Islamo-fascist prayers in the Toronto school system are going to gather here next week. We're a coalition. We're very diverse, as you can see. We're a coalition of Hindus, Jews, and Christians working together. We've got enormous support from many different organizations, including Coptic Christians, Evangelical Asian Association, International Christian Voice, so many different people coming together. And what we need to do is we need people to join us here at 1:30 next Saturday afternoon to help counter this Islamo-fascist demonstration. And we also have a sign-up sheet. And we also have a sign-up sheet over there at the table where we're going to try to get people's emails. If you have an email and a phone number, put it down on the sheet unless you've already signed up in a previous sheet. If you have not, please do so. We can keep you informed of latest developments and all the activities that we're going to be doing in the future. Okay? All right. Thank you all for coming out. And namaste. Hold on.
For next Saturday, where are you going to put the announcement on the internet? Pastor Sullivan.
We've got another pastor who's going to speak to us. Pastor Sullivan from which organization?
Evangelical Asian Church.
Evangelical Asian Church. Pastor Sullivan.
Thank you, brother. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. My name is Pastor Solomon Kokar. I'm from Pakistan. I know exactly the meaning of persecution. This is what we left home in Pakistan, and this is what has followed us all the way to Canada and US and the European countries. We need to stand on one thing. Canada was formed on Judeo-Christian values, and we need to take a stand for what we are and what our heritage is. Nobody should be allowed to invade our heritage, especially we who come from overseas, the immigrant community. We know the meaning of Islam. This is what we ran from, and this is what has chased us in North America. So guys, tonight, let's vow. Let's stand together, stand for Canada, stand for our heritage, and stand for human rights. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
We now have a representative from International Christian Voice, Natasha Bhatti.
First of all, I just want to say that I'm so happy to see everybody out here today and standing for this amazing cause. And I want to encourage all the young people here today to keep fighting for this, because in our schools we are taught that Islam is a peaceful religion, but me growing up in Pakistan and living in Saudi Arabia, I know that it is not. My uncle Shabazz Bhatti died for this cause, and I believe that all of us, especially the younger people, it's the younger generation's job to now continue this, because we are the ones that's going to have the most influence in the future. So I believe that the younger generation should speak out against this injustice, and if we don't do it, nobody else will. So you guys need to go out there and you need to speak and you need to raise your voice, because we're the only ones that's going to make a difference in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Now everyone, I can't emphasize more. It's so important. Next Saturday, it's the Jewish Sabbath, but I'm going to walk from where I am at Steeles and Yonge area, and others probably will join me and walk here to confront those who support the Muslim Brotherhood. We must come here. We must oppose them. It is vital to come out, spread the word. We're going to have this posted on various blogs. It will be posted on Blazing Cat Fur. It will be posted on the Jewish Defense League of Canada website. It will be posted on our Facebook page. It will be posted on other blogs. We will post it. We are going to expose and confront the enemy. Come out, join us, give us your emails. There's a pad down there, there's a table. Write down your name, email, and phone number. We will contact you. It is vital, it is important, today is important. So thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you, and Ron, you have a...
Yeah, I have one. Louise here is going to speak for a few minutes. We got to wrap up. Okay. Tell each person to bring 2 or 3 people because there's going to be large numbers of others.
Okay, now, for next Saturday, here at 1:30, spread the word to your contacts, to your friends. Here's an interesting way, an easy way. A lot of easy ways with the internet. If you're on Facebook and you get the information, share it with your friends. It will spread like wildfire. Also, when you get the notice, email it to your individual list. Do that. And speak personally, make some phone calls to your contacts and friends and associates. Do that, it is vital. And let this become an issue for the elections. Make this a serious issue because it is. Again, the Prime Minister of this country stated quite clearly the greatest threat to security in Canada and in the world is Islamicism. So come out next Saturday and stand up against Islamicism. Thank you very much.
Folks, let me just follow up on what Mayor said. I am proud of our Prime Minister, and I think that as Canadians, we should send him a letter of encouragement. The moment he made that statement that Islamicism is the biggest threat to Canada and the Western world, he was opposed by an Islamic imam who planned to have a protest against him. So I would encourage you, write to the Prime Minister, send him your encouragement, tell him that we are behind him, we support him, and that we will stand shoulder to shoulder with him. And I thank God that we have a Prime Minister like Stephen Harper. The other thing we should also realize, folks, is this. You see what's going on in the Middle East, you see what's going on in Egypt, you see what's going on in Libya. Don't let the media fool you. They're telling you that they want democracy. The fact of the matter is, it's the Muslim Brotherhood that is running behind all of these protests, these revolutions. They want to take over those countries and make them Sharia states. And when a survey was done in Egypt, they asked most Egyptians if Egypt becomes free from Mubarak, what would you expect? Do you believe that adulterers should be stoned? Over 80% of them said adulterers should be stoned. Over 80% of them said apostates should be killed. Over 80% of them said thieves should have their hands chopped off. What is that? Is that democracy, folks? That's not democracy. That's called Sharia law. We don't want that coming here. So, folks, let me leave you with this tonight. Please send your support to our Prime Minister. Show him that we're behind him. And thank you once again. The only way evil will spread is when good people do nothing, but thank God we will do something. Thank you.
We have one more special speaker who came from Israel. What's his name? David Badin from Israel.
One thing we have to be aware of what's happened in Israel, and we cannot be silent about, was the introduction of Palestinian school books, which involve the praise for shahidim, those who kill and who murder and who die in the process. Introducing school books, which involve the destruction of Israel, issuing school books, which are taught in the UNRWA refugee camps. The connection to Canada is very clear, because Canada is one of the nations that fully supports UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, And that doesn't have to be, because this government, at least, is considering a pullback of funds from UNRWA. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity to say, excuse me, but there's certain education that is not to be accepted, not to be respected. So we put the precise texts on our website. And someone said, oh, it's a Nazi text. No, 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 no. The Nazi texts, as described in Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, talked about the demonization of Jews and the endorsement of murder of Jews by hint. Here there is no hint. It's very clear for the first time in history, a school system where the murder of Jews is very clearly and above board endorsed. Let my people know, the people of Israel and the people of the world need to know what the nature of this kind of Sharia law is, and it must not be copied, must not be used, must not be emulated anywhere in the world. This is the issue that we have to face over there, and we have to bring over here, because it's very uncomfortable. On the other hand, we have an obligation to let everyone know exactly what is going on. Because when you have education for war, education for hatred, that has nothing to do with peace, reconciliation, or anything having to do with the better lives for all of us. You can see the translations on our website, IsraelBehindTheNews.com, and just take a look at the new website, PalestineRemember.com, where every Palestinian Arab is taught the idea that they should have a Palestine instead of Israel, not alongside Israel, in what they call the two-stage solution, not the two-state solution, the two-stage solution. Only when we wake up and we see that reality will we be able to cope with what's going on today in the Middle East and over here. Shalom uvracha.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'd just like to take this opportunity again on behalf of our coalition. Once again, thank you so much, folks, for coming out, giving up your Sunday evening to be with us. The fact that you're here shows that you care about this great country, that you care about our freedoms. And let not that light burn out. Let that light burn in your hearts. The darkness can never put out the light. The darkness can never comprehend the light. So thank you on behalf of the Jewish Defense League and the Canadian Hindu Advocacy Group and all other groups represented here. We want to thank you once again for coming. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. A good night to all of you, and God richly bless you. Thank you.